We are in the thick of presidential primary season, watching the results come in, and it appears we will have a repeat race in November. Looks like the same two major party candidates, President Biden and former President Trump, will square off yet again. But before we get to the general election, voters have to push through the primaries. Here at home, they've been busy trying to track all the changes in how they can make their voices heard this year. Missouri, for example, ditched its statewide presidential primaries this year, making political parties pick up the slack. And for the first time ever, Republicans caucused to select their candidate.
I move to nominate Donald J. Trump for President of the United States.
Party members from all over Missouri gathered in each county earlier this month to decide who they wanted to nominate, picking former President Trump in a landslide. Missouri Democrats, meanwhile, decided to stick with a presidential primary. This is a hybrid election, though, with both mail-in and in-person voting. Ballots have already been sent out. Democrats head to the polls on Saturday. The changes on the Kansas side affect all voters. For the first time in more than 3 decades, Kansas is swapping caucuses for presidential primaries. Voters head to the polls Tuesday to make their voices heard. Some, though, have already taken advantage of advanced voting, which opened up late last month. And if you want to avoid crowds on Election Day, you can still vote tomorrow if you'd like. Certain polling places are open from 8 in the morning until noon. Here to get to the heart of what's happening, please welcome Kansas Secretary of State Scott Schwab. Thank you for joining us ahead of what could be a busy day Tuesday. You know, we haven't seen a presidential primary in Kansas, as we said, for years. What is happening behind the scenes right now to get ready for this?
Well, we're handling it like we would typically handle any other election, except for the legislature. When they set this up, they moved some deadlines. So we had to make sure we were getting ballots printed at the right time and getting those out to the various those counties, getting them out for their equipment to be programmed and everything. But outside of that, we're handling very much like a normal primary like we would do in August, except for there's just less contests on this ballot than usual, as opposed to having several candidates. You just have is one contest for president. There will be no legislature, member of Congress, or anything of that.
For voters who aren't familiar with the process, how does this work? Do I have to be a member of a political party to weigh in this year?
You do. So if you're going to participate in the Democrat presidential preference primary, you'll want to be a Democrat. You can register as a Democrat at the polling place if you want to. And of course, if you want to participate in the Republican one, you'll have to register as Republican. If you don't identify with one of those two parties, then you won't be allowed to participate. But if you want to change your party back to unaffiliated or something like that later after the election, you'll be allowed to.
That's good to know. Still another day of advanced voting tomorrow. How's the turnout been so far? Have you seen the numbers?
We have not seen numbers, and now that we pretty much know who the nominees are, it hasn't been as high profile as we would normally expect for a presidential election. And a lot of folks that want to participate in their candidate they were advocating for didn't make it to be the nominee. Those folks can still get out and vote and make a statement by supporting their candidate, but it may not change who's going to be, it's most likely not going to change who's going to be on that ballot come November.
Yeah, typical presidential election years. I don't think it's been decided very early on as much as this one. But yeah, I imagine that's got to curb turnout quite a bit.
Yeah, it is. But with not having a Senate contest this August, we're not expecting a huge turnout for the August primary either. But November, we do anticipate large turnout as we normally do for presidential years.
Also important to note that this change to the primary may not be permanent, right? This was just funded for a year. How do you see this shaking out? What's it going to take to maybe see this again or not next time around?
Yeah, I don't think we will see it again because it's happened after Super Tuesday, which, again, most of the delegates have been decided already. The state ponied up $5 million to pay for an election that may not have much influence anyway. So I would imagine in 4 years from now, the legislature will go back to putting this back onto the parties to pay for and run their own caucuses and determine how their delegates will be assigned.
Yeah, it's a heck of a test year to see it when it's pretty much a sure rematch.
Yeah, but the nice thing about this happening this year is between the pandemic and the way some election workers have been treated lately, we've lost a lot of election workers and we've hired a lot of new ones. We lost some institutional knowledge, but this is a good dry run. This expands their knowledge of, hey, this is how we run these elections without it being as complex as some of our other elections we've had. They won't have to worry about judicial retention. They don't have to worry about all those legislative races or precinct committee person races. It's just president and done. So some of those new poll workers, this is a really good experience for them.
Yeah, you mentioned their treatment. So much of the last presidential election cycle was taken up by claims of election fraud on the part of former President Trump. And I know you're a Republican, but you spoke out against those claims. How do you press forward this year and work to build more confidence in the process?
I think we're getting confidence. The folks that accuse Kansas of not being a fair election state, one, they're not looking at the evidence. They're not serving as a poll worker to see how we secure our elections. And three, after the value of them both recounts, not a single county flipped. So it proved that our election workers actually do their job and do a good job. And if folks do have an issue or they don't have much confidence in the election, we encourage them to be a poll worker. If you have concerns about voter fraud or voter suppression, we always encourage those folks to be the ones in the election process. And one, you're going to get paid for being a poll worker anyway. And then you get to see the intense difficulty it goes into making sure elections are done in a clean way, and it'll put the most confidence back into those elections for those people who have concerns.
Hands-on approach. Kansas Secretary of State Scott Schwab, thank you so much for your time. Good luck next week. For the latest election resources and information on polling places, go online to votekansas.gov and trust KMBC9 News as we watch primary results in Kansas and Missouri. We'll bring you the numbers as they come in, along with analysis of the races on air and online at KMBC.com.